Dylan's pick of the week, which hopefully is not an F tier, was the 1988 film Die Hard, which you'll now give a quick rundown of.
Die Hard! Alright, listen. You got this cop, he's flying back to California, I think is where he is. He goes to a building, finds his wife, did all that stuff. Then turns out there's people came up here for this money that this Japanese guy owns in this thing. They spend the entire movie breaking up the vault. The police guy ends up killing all the terrorists and whatnot. The police show up, the FBI shows up, they fuck everything up. All the FBI guys die, most of the police guys die. The policeman ends up killing everybody and saving the day, getting his wife, and then they all go home with the limo driver and they live happily ever after. And it's Christmas!
I think this takes place in California. What? He bitches about it being California so many times.
Dylan's always non-committal with statements because he's always afraid he's wrong. Here's my haiku as inspired by Die Hard. New York City cop, toe-to-toe with master crooks. God damn, he's stinky! He smells so bad by the end of this movie, dude. Holy shit. This movie is fucking fantastic. I'm so glad I finally have seen this one.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, dude. We've watched, like, a decent amount of those, like, classic action movies at this point, and, none of them were really, like, all that great, in my opinion. But Die Hard, fortunately, did live up to the hype, I must say.
Yeah, I was supremely pleased with the outcome. Yeah, what's really weird is because I attribute a lot of movies to prior ones that we've either watched or I've watched. This, for some reason, reminds me a lot of Skyscraper. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie or not.
Never heard of that.
Skyscraper is just a movie about Dwayne Johnson, and he's like some high-level security guard for a sky. Anyway, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of...
that movie would have come out, what, 3 decades after this one?
Something like, I don't know. But... I think, yeah, the action of this movie was very well done. There was nothing, like, because I think one of the biggest things in action movies and horror movies is things happening for plot convenience sake, and I don't think anything in this movie ever happened that way, and I don't think anything was super out of the ordinary crazy, and if anything... I mean, people could argue, like, oh man, this cop guy, he's gotta be so tired. There was the part in the movie where they shot the glass and he stepped on a bunch of glass, he was just bleeding. Like, he should have no energy to do anything in this. I don't even really think that was super unrealistic. I think this movie was fairly grounded. It gave us a plot to care about. It gave us a character to care about. And, like, maybe, like, a couple side characters to care about. Even, like, the random police guy who, like, showed up first was real chill, and I liked him a lot. Just likable characters. This plot was super solid, super, solid villain. Yeah, super solid action. It's great.
I think that's something this movie does really well that I don't see it in a lot of action movies seem to, is it actually does a pretty good job of building tension. Like, there's a lot of scenes that are actually just straight up really intense. Like, I've seen this movie before, but you still get, like, the goosebumps of, like, what's gonna happen, like when he's fucking sliding along a floor with a bunch of broken glasses, he almost gets pulled out of the window, or when his fucking holster is like just barely holding with his gun when he's about to make the jump in the elevator shaft. There's a lot of moments like that in this film that just do a really good job of just, like, putting you on edge, like for like a first watching perspective. It's a very engaging film, certainly.
Yeah, and unlike a lot of other like action movie main characters or whatever, you definitely don't feel as though like he's invincible or anything like that. You can definitely sense like he's in danger and does like get fucked up throughout this film. Like, just like with like the scene of him like stepping on a bunch of glass and he's like bleeding all over the place or whatever the fuck. And towards the end of the movie, he's just like fucking limping everywhere. And like at the start of the movie is like just like a white ass wife beater. And then at the very end of it, like it's just fucking black. Yeah. It's just crazy to see that progression.
I also like something I pointed out that I thought was very funny to me is that like our main characters, so John McClane and then the main police guy and then our main villain, they're allowed to be smart, they're able to plan and react to each other in intelligent ways, but every other character in this movie is dumb as a box of rocks. The FBI agents, that other police officer, I was laughing at that guy real hard with the shenanigans he was pulling. We have the smarmy employee that was like hitting on John's wife. Yeah, that was a good scene too when he was like, hey John boy, or he was trying to like finesse the fucking criminals and then they just fucking shoot him.
Yeah, I saw that. That scene went a lot farther than I thought it would, but it ended the exact way I thought it would too, so I guess it's a win.
Yeah. And something I really like, obviously action movies, a big important part of them is like your set pieces and the environment that your action are happening in. And I'm very impressed by how engaging they managed to make this one office building being. Like, the choice to have some of the floors under construction so that you can do, have some visual and, I guess, practical variety, was a genius idea. Having him crawl through the vents, and then, you have the roof, the lobby, the under construction areas. Like, they managed to get a lot of variety in the kinds of environments that the action is taking place.
Yeah, which is the exact sort of thing that I had previously criticized The Raid for, was its lack of, like, visual variety throughout the film. And this film, accomplishes that in a much better way, I'd say.
Dilapidated building where, like, some kind of, like, gang does their drugs.
They can still do interesting shit with that, Dylan.
It's a realistic setting for
We don't need to defend The Raid right now. I could argue this, but I don't feel like it. We're talking about a different movie.
I think it's a pretty well done movie. For some cons, because we haven't really been super negative about it. There's definitely in like the mid portion when he stops being in like direct conflict with the criminals. It's mostly just we're watching the bad guys do setup and the police people get set up as well. That definitely starts to peter off for me. There's also a pretty, for maybe controversial statement, but it's kind of a slow-paced movie for what it is, and it's also like over 2 hours, so it's a long movie and it's kind of slow-paced. It has its moments of like really high intensity action. Also, you don't want a movie to be completely filled with that, but it definitely has its like lulls, which kind of lost me a little bit. There's like some kind of goofiness, I think the most obvious one is the fucking guy that was hung up by a goddamn chain in an exploding, collapsing building, walks out, trying to fucking go guns blazing on them at the end of the movie. That's just kind of fucking stupid. I don't know why they did that. But yeah, no, generally it's a pretty well-made movie overall. I didn't really feel super attached with it. Definitely it's kind of just like action man movie. I definitely like to have movies with a bit more emotional draw to it. They had like the subplot of like the guy and his wife trying to reconnect or something, but it was kind of thin. I didn't really give a shit about it at all.
Yeah, overall pretty unnecessary, I feel, but at the same time,
it's an action movie.
Like,
you gotta have the fucking cool badass guy get with the hot chick or whatever.
Yeah.
One minor detail, though, I did like the characterization of the fucking goober, the guy that was trying to do the negotiation with the terrorists. When we very first meet him, we see him, with fucking John McClane talking to the head exec guy, and the wife goes and starts talking to John about like how they were like a thing previously, and you can like see the guys kind of getting like shifty-eyed and uncomfortable in that statement, and then immediately you can follow it up. He's a very consistent character. He's funny too. Generally, I think the characters are pretty well written in this movie. Outside of the ones that are complete fucking dumb fucks, like the completely incompetent government forces.
Yeah, why are the FBI so useless? That's what I'm trying to figure.
They were trying to make it realistic.
It is LAPD after all, and the government.
Yikes.
So, Dylan, what rating are you thinking you're going to be giving this movie?
That's a great question. I've been bouncing back and forth, but honestly, I don't know where I want to put it yet. But
pick one, dude. Go ahead.
Let's go. I'll go with the higher one, and then I can lower it later, because that's better that way. It doesn't matter. I'm going to give it Die Hard an S-.
Whoa! Guys, I think that, this is Dylan's pick this week. He's been on the prowl for an S-tier film for quite a while now. Could this be his very first one that breaches in the S-tier? Tanner.
I also gave this one an S-.
Holy smokes. And I gave it an A-tier. Jackson, how about you? You're the make or break here, dude. You're the make or break.
Yeah, I also gave it an A tier. Like I said, I definitely need more of an emotional draw of the film to really want to rate it like that highly. A tier is still very good. This is a really solid film. This is definitely the best action movie, I think. Maybe I'm going to eat my words. I haven't looked. Maybe there's a hard action movie I have higher than this on my tier list right now, but I definitely think this is the best action movie we've seen so far.
Oh yeah.
It's got its flaws, but it's a very entertaining film at the end of the day. And that lands it at an A+ overall, unfortunately.
Whoa!
Unfortunately.
That is Dylan's highest rated movie.
I was gonna say, I think
so
that's
far.
my new highest rated movie. So congrats
there we
to me,
go.
I guess.
Congrats, dude. You're eking ever closer.
Honestly, I'm shocked it didn't get S tier. I really thought you guys were gonna, specifically like Tanner and Dylan, were gonna rate it much higher than S-.
Yeah, I was fully expecting them to give it like an S tier at the very least as well.
What can I say? We're the objective ones.